Hi my fabulous friends, it's Donna, and today I'm talking to those of you who are born in the year of the snake about what's coming up for you in November. And this month I'm changing it up a little bit. I am looking at the individual planets to give you more precise information about what to do and what is happening. And starting off with where the spotlight is. And the spotlight this month is actually on your neighbors. That is the people that live around you. And it's an interesting spotlight because oftentimes, you know, especially these days, we are not as connected to our neighbors as we used to be. Back in the old days when I was a kid, we knew our neighbors. We would go over to swim at their house. My parents would get together with other neighbors and they'd play card games and things like that. And so when there was trouble, I lived in an area with a lot of fires. When there was a fire, the neighbors came together and they would, get the hoses out and water people's roofs and all of that. So there was that feeling of community. And that's this month, there is this spotlight on you creating community around you. That is to look at your neighbors and say, who can I invite over for supper? Maybe somebody in your neighborhood doesn't have someone to celebrate the holidays with. And so reaching out to them. Also, maybe looking at who's new in the neighborhood and maybe connecting with people who've been around a while and you haven't seen them a while. When I lived in Phoenix, I noticed that it's so hot there that we would drive into our garages, the garage door was shut, and I would never see anybody. So if you live, and that was the same way when I lived back east, it was like when the snow came, we got in as soon as possible, and we didn't get to see our neighbors. So this month, make a point of seeing those people who live around you. Now, it's interesting too that your energy towards money falls in your area of foundations. This means that you want to look at your attitudes towards money and what blocks you might have, but look at how those attitudes were formed. What did your parents tell you about the ease of getting money? What did they say to you about how money flowed in the world? Did they say, oh, you have to work hard for your money, or that money doesn't grow on trees, or that money could be, if you had money, then people are all mean to you. Whatever it is that might have been passed down from generation to generation, this is a time where you can break that pattern. Or perhaps your parents had very open, very easy attitudes towards money, and the money flowed in, but it flowed right out again. And so maybe there were some attitudes towards saving money. Yeah, maybe there were some attitudes about saving money that are stopping you from creating abundance and accumulating money. Now, your focus on action and what you should be doing and how to make things happen really is centered around your daily routines. So when and I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but this would be a great time to look at your routines and say, all right, I have some habits that I'm not really thrilled with. I want to make and exchange those for better habits. So what's the trigger? Each of us have habits, and there is a trigger, a point where we decide we're going to do that thing. And what happens, the reasons it's a habit is we get unaware of the trigger. We're unaware of what gets us to, come home, and instead of, going in the kitchen and chopping up vegetables and making a nice salad, instead we flop down on the sofa and dial the pizza place. What is the trigger? Is it when you put your hand on that doorknob, do you suddenly feel tired? Because that could mean that you need some clearing done. Doing a space clearing can help with that. Or maybe when you open that door, maybe the kitchen's cluttered and there's no place to actually do any food prep. And so then you feel that kind of block. And so, but there's no clutter on the sofa. And so therefore you go to the sofa. that sort of thing. Now, your luck is still in the area of money, and it's going to remain in the area of money for quite a while. So you're going to hear me talking about that. And that is super good news for those of you born in the year of the snake. Now, it means that money can easily flow in. It also does mean that money can easily flow out. And so one of the tips that I want to give you is to set up automatic savings plans. Because more money is going to flow in, and we can get it to flow out into your savings accounts. Unfortunately, if you don't have something that's going to automatically channel money to a savings, you are going to find that it just gets spent. And so at the end of the year, you'll end up with just about the same, even though you were actually making more money. So I want you to capitalize on this luck by finding ways to, be a little sneaky with yourself and find a way to save money even though you're not really aware of it. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe.